What's up, guys? We're back at it again for another video. It's going to be another One Piece chapter live reaction. The newest chapter is 1176. We have both the cover for Shonen Jump and we have, I believe, a color page this time. So let's see. Starting with the cover page, we have Luffy and the live-action Chopper, who to me still kind of looks like the Snuggle Bear from... I don't know if Snuggle is... I think it's fabric softener? Maybe, yes, where he looks like the bear from the Snuggle commercials with his hat on. Anyway, so that's Luffy on the cover with live action Chopper, and we see some live action stuff off to the side. We also see, I'll be honest, I don't know who that other character is who's up at the top right. I feel like he's from Demon Slayer, or I don't know what else he'd be from. I'll be honest with you. Oda's note. Von D's concert at the Tokyo Dome was insanely cool. His constant evolution is truly inspiring. I don't know who that is, but I'm happy for Oda. We do have a color page. I love our color pages every time we get them. Oda's great at drawing these. I love them so much. Okay, so this one's pretty straightforward. It's just all the Straw Hats with a ton of treasure. They're just surrounded by a ton of treasure. It looks like Sanji is pulling the handles to a cart which has Robin and Nami sitting on it. Luffy's eating some meat and running with it. Zoro's just running as well. I mean, everybody's kind of just running and doing their own thing, kind of flexing, being excited. Jinbei, my boy, is up there drinking on top, which goes to kind of... If you didn't know, I think it was stated in one of the last SBSs that Jinbei has the highest alcohol tolerance of any of the Straw Hats. Or it could be that he is the heaviest drinker, like he drinks the most. It wasn't... I don't think the translation, from what I understand, came through very well on that. But either he drinks more than Zoro, like more often, which is shocking, or he has a better tolerance than Zoro, which wouldn't shock me that much because I think Nami's in Zoro's same tolerance range. Anyways, though, cool color page. I like it a lot. I mean, it's cool to see our pirate guys in normal pirate fashion around gold doubloons and necklaces and all that cool stuff. So I love seeing stuff like that. And then we get an additional page that's for the new live-action series, or the second season, I guess, of the live-action series, which has the main core 5 Straw Hats on it. It's got Nami, Sanji, Zoro, Usopp, and Luffy. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And they're just kind of like over top of the last color page. It's just like them again, kind of redoing the same poses, essentially, like for their characters. Pretty neat. And then it does give us their actual name, like, of the stars. But now let's get into it. Chapter 1176. We're still in Elbaf, of course. We ended off last time with getting to find out that Loki has the Nidhogg fruit. And I think that was mostly all we saw. He had the Nidhogg, and we were about to get our clash between the different sides and kind of see who the Celestial Dragons are going to come after. And we're going to get to see maybe if Eam or Eam Gunko, whatever you want to call her, Eamco, kind of continues on her last statement that she made at the end of the last chapter, saying, so that's where the Nidhogg fruit has been this whole time, was here. So let's get into it. It says, Loki's Thrudheim roars out. Ow! It's one hell of a party over there, huh? Says Frankie. I love it. I love it. So we haven't seen Frankie in a while. He is still with Vegapunk. Well, Lilith, but Vegapunk, nonetheless. What are you doing, Lilith? Isn't Vegapunk in that box? It's a good thing I unloaded it near the school. These are Omni Drain Converters. ODCs for short. Okay, let's see what they do. They kind of just... I mean, I'll be honest, they kind of just look like wheels with little pegs on the side. I'm fairly certain hover tech should be feasible on Elbaf. Huh? Come again? Says Frankie. Don't you feel it? Over here, back there, this place is teeming with energy. It's all around us. Have you never tried harnessing anything stronger than cola to power yourself? Frankie goes, huh? Guys, this is awesome. Because this could be Lilith, giving Frankie a pretty big power up here soon. We might get Frankie running off of another source other than just cola. I want him to keep running off of cola. That's why he's one of my favorite Straw Hats. He's the cool cyborg who runs on freaking Coke, dude. Like, I think he's technically uses Pepsi, if I remember the One Piece Pepsi thing that they did. But anyways, not the point. The point is that he runs on soda. Well, continuing, we then actually cut away and we just see, whoa, the flames have grown so much. This is where all the other Straw Hats are. This is a nightmare. The world really might be ending today. Did you see that thing? That dragon so big, it even dwarfs Kaido, which is what we all figured from seeing him. Then again, wasn't Luffy on its back? Does that mean it's on our side? Says Usopp. Literally freaking out. Everybody's running that way. That dummy's always pulling some reckless stunt. You ready, Zeus? Yep, I'm good to go, he replies to Nami. Let's hurry. This will still be tricky, but at least we don't have to worry about the kids anymore, says Jinbei. And then Robin runs up to Saul. He's on the ground. Sorry, I got no business lying around here at a time like this. Are you okay? Says Robin. Actually, I think that's Nami. Yeah, that's Nami. He says, are you okay? Here we go. Come on, Zeus. This is urgent. Wow. So now we're looking over at the school and the library, and they're just in flames. Absolutely engulfed in flames. We've got to put out the fires at the school and the library. Leave it to me, Nami. As he sends Zeus into the sky, he turns into a big cloud. I saved up plenty of water like you asked. That's our perfect Nami-san. She's ready for anything, says Sanji. Pouring rain. As she swings her climate attack down. Tempo! And it starts to pour over top of the school and the library, putting out the fires. Or at least we're hoping it's going to put out the fires. Please let this work. Nami, Zeus. Is that rain? Says Saul. Rah, go away, says Zeus to all the fire. That's pretty funny. Hey, this wasn't part of the deal. Who said you could put out the fire? Yeah, a monster. Watch out, Zeus. Oh no, guys, it's killing him. He looks over, Our terms were clear. You were meant to forsake all this world history crap. And then we see what looks like Killingham on top of one of his dream monsters. Just like it's like the dream, I think the Jormungandr. It's like a big snake. It just bites into Zeus. It like takes a massive chunk out of him. And then everybody's just like, Zeus, what's going on? Saul, is that a snake? No. It's a lindworm? Lindworm? Lindwyrm. What I find most scary, a lindworm. And it's like its own box to tell us who it is. It's actually really funny. Nami just shouts, Zeus! He was our last hope to put out these flames. Who is that guy? Looking over at Killingham. He must be one of the 3 demons. The ODCs are engaging, we hear shouting from behind them. And we just see them all. I mean, these ODCs, like the wheels, are just flying out of nowhere. They're just flying up to where the other Straw Hats are. Thermal energy absorption. As they fly by, they make like a crackle sound. It looks like they're freezing everything that they're flying by. Like they're sucking everything out of it, and they're like freezing it. So they seem to fill up. So after they begin to fill with whatever they're sucking up, they like expand, and they kind of honestly kind of looks like I was gonna say I can't really describe what it looks like very well. I mean, it's like it almost looks like a bun here and like a like a patty or something in the middle, like a big inflated part in the middle, and then another one at the bottom, and then it still has the little prong sticking out where it's absorbing and spitting out from. Killingham, what is this thing? Wow. So we then see the library and the school, and they are covered in ice. The flames are out. What the? Everything's frozen. What happened? Seems like they did it, says Saul. The fire in the school and library have all been extinguished. We then cut back to Lilith. Even calamities are ultimately just clumps of energy. Frankie, take this for a whirl. As she charges up one of his cola bottles with the energy that she just sucked from one of the ODCs. She like plugs it into the bottom, drains that into one of his cola bottles, and then she chucks it over to him. Hold up, this bottle looks like it's gonna bust. Yup! I call it Super Vega Cola, she says. Your internal structure is truly magnificently designed. You're at least on par with the Pacifista. I'm gonna continue. You're at least on par with the Pacifista. But I was shocked to learn that you managed to run yourself on plain old cola. Listen good now. Your fuel is your passion. When you use this stuff, your power will explode. And Frankie's just like, what? Huh? Like, shocked. This is actually hitting a really cool key point, guys, that a lot of the fan base has been thinking about for a while. Could Frankie power himself off other things other than that one filler where we saw him powering himself off of tea and stuff in the time skip? Or I guess right before the time skip. But either way, we've actually had this genuine question for a while. Can he power himself off of other stuff? And this is going to prove to us, I guess so. He can. So let's see. I really hope he does it this chapter. We continue. We cut to Zeus inside the mouth of the Lindworm. I'm sorry, I'm probably pronouncing that awfully. He just says, "Wah, it's so dark. Nami, save me." "Zeus, I'm coming," she says. "Saul, can you make it to the library?" says Robin. "Of course I can. Robin, you must be worried sick. All that history was left to us by O'Hara." As Killingham sees them running over to the library. "Devour the library, Dream Demon. Don't give them the faintest glimmer of hope." It roars, begins to go over to bite it. He says, "A new world can only be born by severing things like history." We then see Jinbei jump into the sea. Nami, leave Zeus to me. He'll cough him right up after a strike from my fist. "Whoa, is that a fish man?" says Killingham. They really are the most repulsive race in the world. If anyone's going to gag, it'll be me. Good thing I brought my mask. He's been wearing his mask. Apparently, he is a perpetual believer in what all of the people in the auction house thought when they saw a fishman, and I guess the general celestial dragon believe, is that all fishmen are disgusting. Bottom of the barrel. Like, I cannot believe it, honestly, that they believe that. It's crazy. Big haters. Absolutely humongous haters. We then cut over to our guy Sanji getting a line. "That elitist attitude and gross ideology. It's typical for a celestial dragon," he says out loud. Killingham notices him, looks over. "You really must be out of touch if you even don't recognize I'm sorry, guys. You truly must be out of touch if you even don't recognize a former warlord like Jinbei. Now, how are you going to pay for insulting a member of our crew? How about I kick a hole in that precious mask of yours?" So we're going to get the Sanji versus Killingham matchup. This could be cool. I like this. We then see Frankie literally jumps into the sky, super high, just yelling, "Super! My jumping power is unreal. All my muscles are raring to go. With this boost, any monster that crosses me is going to be crying for mercy after just one hit." Super strong. We see him pulling his fist back, and then we see Jinbei doing the same thing. Fishman karate, secret technique. And Sanji does his Ifrit Janbei. We then see even the Dream Demons like looking over like, huh? What's happening? And Killingham does the same thing like, what? What is he spinning for? And then we get one massive panel. Jinbei seems to finish his attack with Dexter, which is Latin for right. Jinbei, of course, uses his Vagabond Drill. They both hit the Lindworm, or the Lindworm, whatever it is, head on. Frankie hits it right in the face. Jinbei hits it down on its lower region around where its gut is. I mean, they both just send massive ripples through this thing. And then we see Sanji, Sanji, Ifrit Janbei, Konkase, and it's the one where he brings his foot down right on top. He typically hits him right on the head. And that's what he did with Killingham. I'm sorry, I lost track of his name. He cracks Killingham right on the head. It looks like it busts right through his bubble. Yeah, it breaks right through his bubble, it looks like. Hits him square in the head. Frankie literally punched the head off of this thing. We see it flying off of it in the next in the next panel. And then we cut away from this. We cut back over to West Village, where the demonic giant warrior pirates are, led by Dory and Bragi, coming after the Jarl, Hardin, Stanson, and Zoro group. So it's them versus the warriors of West Village. We do see that the giants continue to reform even when they're cut down. With their regeneration, we could keep cutting them over and over for eternity. And every one of them is a familiar face. Just seeing them get hurt pains us too. And that's Stanson and Hardin saying this. What the hell can we do to stop this? We then see Dory and Bragi. We cut to them. They're screaming. I'm not going to imitate their screams. Captain Dory, Captain Bragi. Dory, are you still in there? I'm barely hanging on, Bragi, same thing. They're looking at each other. Zoro, watching this, is noticing that they're clearly still have some control of their body. I'm thinking they're going to take, at the moment, I'm going to take a guess, guys. They're probably going to take a route similar to Harold, and maybe they're going to be willing to die here in order to stop themselves from hurting anybody else. Just like what Harold was willing to do. We're in utter disgrace. How could we ever allow such mindless insults against an esteemed elder like Jarl to cross our lips? Taking his head would stain our honor for generations. Right, it never should have come to this. We're in agreement then. Of course we are. As they look at each other. Farewell, partner. Well, we'll never yield to these demons. A whole century of duels. We had a grand time of it together, didn't we? We then see them go to clash again. We are warriors of Elbaf. There's nothing left for us but to die with pride. As we see both of them cut each other's heads off. All the giants, chiefs! And that's when we actually see Zoro freaking out, yelling, Dory! Bragi! Captain Dory! Captain Bragi! What did they do? And then we see what looks like their bodies, like growing really big and round, kind of like they're inflating. And they kind of roll. It says turn. Like it literally looks like they're both saying turn, but I think it's more that their bodies are both turning. Zoro is noticing this happening too. He's confused. And then it seems that big black sphere, like like their body essentially, what their body's grown into, just turns into a clear sphere around their normal human bodies, and their heads are even back on, and they're just laying on the ground, both Dory and Bragi. They're both just like, huh? What? You're both back to normal? Their heads are even back in place. Then that means, says Jarl, death breaks the demonic curse, so we can go all out against the rest, huh? And this is Stanson, Harding, Dory, Bragi, and Zoro saying all of this. Our gruesome corpses weren't a pretty sight for you all, but it seems your body returns to working shape the moment you're flipped back. There's no need to hold back. Now we know we just need to land fatal blows and they'll be restored. That means lopping off their heads will work. We could even gouge their hearts out, but that's totally out of the question. I mean, they're our friends, right? So we just see now it's Dory, Bragi, Hyrule, Stanson, and Zoro. The five of them against the demons. The demon giants. We then see, it's then another cutaway. Hey, get all the kids back home. They shouldn't be here. The demon giants are just shook sitting there like, huh? Zoro says, I kind of feel bad. Yeah, this is really breaking my heart, says Bragi. Dory, mine bleeds for them, honestly. My chest aches too, says Hyrule. We're all very reluctant, but you guys better brace yourselves, looking at all the giants who they're about to cut down. 1176, chapter end, break next week. Alright, so, I'm going to be quick about this, because I don't want this to run on super long. And I want to get this uploaded. I will apologize for my couple mispronunciations throughout this chapter. I'm sure I made a couple mistakes. What I find interesting, though, about this chapter, right? We'll go back to the top and we'll skim it real fast coming back down. We start by just seeing the aftermath of Loki's attack. We get the cool part of finding out that Franky can run off of other energy sources, and my guess is he's going to get to take one or a couple of these ODCs with him when we leave Lilith/Vegapunk behind. That way he can continue to use these to essentially drain energy or power from all over the place in order to just use it for himself. So he'll never be able to run out of power. In theory, Franky can make himself perpetually be able to have energy at all times. So that'll fix one of his greatest weaknesses, and this gives him a boost to his base stats, and my guess is all of his weapons are probably stronger with this new energy too. So that was really cool, and getting to see Lilith for the first time in a while. The Vegapunk's getting to see that. Really nice. We know that the library is saved. That's awesome. We didn't see Zeus get spit back out of the head of the snake. I'll check again. Or the lindworm. We get to see cool attacks, and I love seeing a three-way attack. I mean, especially when it's Jinbei, Frankie, and Sanji. Those are three really awesome characters. Getting to do a three-way attack together. Really, really awesome, honestly. I am a little disappointed that Sanji, like killing him is looking at Sanji, talking trash to him, watches him spin around and use Ifrit Jinbei, and then just lets him nail him. Like, either Sanji is really fast, or killing him is just really lame. One or the other. Maybe both. Yeah, I will say, when we see the head come off of the Dream Demon, we don't see Zeus come out of it, but he is going to come out of it. My favorite part of the chapter, though, if I had to pick, was probably the whole Dory and Bragi cutting each other's head off. The coming to their senses, understanding that all they have left is their pride and that they're going to die with that if nothing else. And the freak out from Zoro. Because we don't see Zoro freak out and show emotion a lot. So we saw him smile and call them brothers when he was talking to like Dory, Bragi, Hyrule, and Stanson, right? Because they're a part of the fleet, and essentially Dory and Bragi, while they're not a part of the fleet, they are best friends with the Straw Hats. Like, they've spent so much time, not a ton of time, but they spent a lot of time together on Little Garden. Like, they learned a lot from them, essentially. They're great friends, like, very close. So getting to see a reaction out of him when he thought they were dead was really cool. What does confuse me, though, a little bit, is that this implies that when they are killed, if you kill them, they regain their body. So now that makes me think back to the only other case of Dami Reversi we've really seen, or the two cases we've seen that were major before this. And that was Harald, and that was Rox. So, jumping back to Harald, when Loki hit him with Ragnir, and we saw him, like, essentially break, it looked like, did he not get to come back to life after being killed like that? Like, was he somehow killed permanently? Was there a reason he wasn't able to turn back? Was he not able to turn back or get to live because he had already had the first part or the second part of the contract? Right? I think he had the level 2 part of the Covenant contract, whatever it was. That, or he at least had the first. So is it, if you have the contract, you die after being Dami Reversi? You gain that power. Maybe you gain even more power. Who knows? But then you die. It could be that, because now that I'm thinking about it, right? I mean, but that wouldn't be the same then, because with Rox did not have the he didn't have the Covenant. He was not a part. He did not have that power. But when he was Dami Reversi'd and we saw Roger and Garp hit him, it implied to us that he was killed or defeated after that last attack. So was he not defeated? He got to live and then he was killed? I lied. I think we did see that. Now that I'm thinking back on it, maybe I'll make a video on this and going over this more in depth, the other Dami Reverses we've seen and how we believe this is going to work then going forward. I believe after Rox was killed, or attacked, defeated, we'll say, at God Valley by Roger and Garp, I believe we saw... I can't think of his name right off the dome for some reason. Shanks, Shamrock, and it's their father. I don't know why I can't think of his name for some reason. Wow, I don't know why I can't think of his name. What's his name? It's, what is it, Garling? Yeah. So, Garling. I think we saw Garling stabbing his sword into, like, Rox's corpse, or what we thought was his corpse, after the God Valley incident, like, after the attack ended. So he would have got Undami Reversi'd, been okay again, and then my guess is after that, that's why we saw that panel, because I think it was just him putting his sword, like, through him, like him just standing there with his sword through Rox. My guess is Rox was knocked out, or very weakened or something, and that's when he ended up, Garland just killed him right there, and that's why Rox was killed, or that's how he was killed. The Harald one is still confusing me a little, thinking about it, because they would not have chosen to kill him if he came back. So with him, I'm thinking having the Covenant in some way, it does not let you come back after you're killed. Once you're Dami Reversi and you're killed, you're not coming back. It's more permanent than that. Like, they can't be killed. Because I think we might have even saw Jarl's head get cut off or something, and I thought it came back. I don't know if we saw that, but I thought we saw something like that. So that's I'll go back through. I will look at the chapter where we saw Jarl, Daimir Reverse Eater, the chapter or two. I'll go back to the God Valley chapters where we saw rocks, and we'll kind of judge it from there and kind of see how that's looking, because I'm a little interested in trying to figure out how this works now. But I'm sorry for that little rambling on for a minute there. We're gonna go and cut it right here. I hope everybody's had a really good week, and I hope everybody has a really great week to come. If you've stayed this long, go ahead and do me a favor. Drop a like on the video. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite part of this chapter was. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, so that way you don't miss out on anything I upload. And I will say, I really appreciate all of the any and all feedback I get at all on my videos. I've been getting definitely more feedback from the last few videos. Really, all the videos this year I've been getting more feedback on. So I really do appreciate all the support I get. Any likes, any views, any comment, anything I get really does mean a lot. It lets me know that you guys are interacting and care about the content. And that really just helps me want to be able to keep making more stuff. So, like I said, if you're here still, go ahead and drop that like, do whatever. If not, that's also fine. I just appreciate you guys coming by to view the video. So, I hope everybody's had a good week, and I hope everybody has a good couple days to a week to come until I drop my next video. But until then, y'all have a good one. Later. Bye.